morning, right before lunch. My name is Untitled Boer. I'm very thrilled to be here and to speak about our game, Garfield's Count Me In, a game based on evidence and based on the needs of special kids, as in special educational needs. I'm very honored to be here, so thank you, Manisha, for inviting me here. It's very special in this beautiful city and this beautiful event. We have a game with a purpose because we believe in serious games that they can help all children to grow, to develop, and to learn, to have a good life in the end. With serious games and serious gaming based on evidence, we give children opportunities, we believe. Sugata Mitra, which is a famous Indian scientist, inspired me for this also. For two reasons. Sugata Mitra had a project called Hole in the Wall. Do we know that project? Who knows the project? You did it also. Okay, great. And Sugata Mitra had a project called Hole in the Wall, and he taught me two things. The first thing was that every child has the ability to learn. Whether you're disabled or not, whether you're very smart or not so smart, whether you're poor or rich, every child has the opportunity and the ability to learn. They have the potential to learn. The difference between some kids is that one gets a lot of opportunities, others don't. And we believe that serious gaming is a solution to give all kids the same opportunities to grow and to learn. The second thing Sugata Mitra told us was that children will learn by themselves without necessarily the need of a teacher or a parent or a school. And you as maybe game developers know that already, but in the world of educational science, we don't know that already. We think the teacher has to be dominant, and we think that children need teachers to learn. But with serious gaming, we see they don't need it necessarily. So that's why we made the game, and that's why we made a math game. And our math game was a solution to a problem we had in the Netherlands, but I assume that the problem will also be a problem in India. The presentation will follow 4 steps. First of all, I will tell why we made the game. Then I will tell how we made the game. Then I will tell something about the results of the game because we did research. And in the end, I would like to tell you or share with you the potential of the game that I believe it has for India. As Manisha pronounced very well, my name is Untitled Boer, and I am not a game developer. I am not an IT specialist. I am a master in educational science. And I used to be a teacher for many years, and after a while I became consultant, and then I became the managing director of a non-for-profit organization which is specialized in special educational needs. And everything we do as an organization, but also everything I did as a teacher, had to do with the name of our organization, which is Effectief Onderwijs. It's a Dutch word, and it means effective education. Because in all the things we do and all the things I did as a teacher or as a director or as a consultant, we were looking for ways to make education more effective. And that's why we created the game Garfield's Count Me In, because we think it is a solution for many kids to make education more effective. And we already got an award for that in New York with a International Serious Play Awards. We won a silver medal, so I'm very proud of that. And I'm very proud to be here and share this with you. The problem that we want to solve was a math problem, actually a calculation problem, because the Dutch government saw falling results in a PISA ranking. And a PISA ranking is a worldwide ranking where countries compare the math skills and reading skills. So you can say whether you're doing good or whether you're doing not so good. The Dutch children, about 10 years ago, were second best in the world. So they performed second best in the world at reading and math skills. But in the last 10 years, we even dropped out of the top 10. And we don't like that as a country because we like to be a world champion, like in soccer. We would never been world champion, but that's our ambition. And this is also an ambition that we want to be the best again. But to improve our way of education and improve the skills, we had to make an analysis about what was wrong, what was going wrong in the past 10 years. And what went wrong was that we saw at the age of 8 a stagnation in developing math skills, calculation skills. And that was for a big part of the kids a problem. And either you could say the kids can't learn any more than that. So the kids get dumber in that 10 years. That could be, but we assumed there would be another problem, and there would be a calculus problem and an educational problem. And we were right, because we did research how it was possible that there was stagnation at the age of 8 years old by so many kids. We did the analysis with the Rijksuniversity of Groningen. We also had a few colleagues that were interested in this problem, and we made a very deep analysis, and we concluded that the fundamental skills that were needed to perform at a certain level were not there. So at the age of 8, the children had to perform at a certain level, but they didn't have the skills to perform at that level. The basic skills were not there, so that's why kids got frustrated. And that's why kids did not perform that well. And that's why the results dropped. So the research team, together with my colleagues, made a calculation wall, because they wanted to analyze how is calculation built up. What is the structure? And they came to this wall. This is a part of it, the lowest part. And you see different levels. And each level has bricks. And what they found out that the bricks were cumulative. So if you fail at one brick, you will fail in the next level or in the level after that. And in the end, you will see stagnation. So what the researchers and my colleagues did was to find out a standard for each brick, what was being needed to master it. And they found out that there needed to be 2 ingredients for that, power and speed. So each brick is built on power and speed. And power means that you know how to solve the sum, and speed means that you can do it in a certain amount of time. And the standards they made in this whole wall were that you can solve a sum type and you do a few sums in a certain amount of time. And what they found out, that the dark colors were cumulative. So the stagnation over here caused by the lack of skills in the lowest level, mostly. The results of this in a classroom were that certain kids, a lot of kids, had to perform at a higher level than the skills were. So the kids got very frustrated, and even the teacher got frustrated, because a teacher wants to reach a certain level in a year. There's a bit pressure. So they want the kids to perform. When they don't perform, most teachers get frustrated. The good teacher do the analysis to see what is wrong. The bad teachers do nothing and get frustrated. And especially with kids with special educational needs, you will see when there's a problem, and you will find out that there is frustration. Because, for instance, kids with behaving problems, they react quite clear. And kids with learning problems that don't have behavioral problems will stagnate, and they will do nothing, and they will not develop at all. There was also a big problem in self-esteem. The kids who failed time after time after time did not have a lot of confidence in themselves. And so what we did, we took the structure of mathematics, the structure of calculation. We took the needs of the children that had problems with calculation, and we were trying to find a way to make education more effective than it was, so that also the children who had a bit of problems or had very much problem with calculation get the chance to develop. And the solution that we thought of was Garfield. And Garfield is the main character of the game, because we thought when children have to practice a lot and repeat a lot to master a brick that is quite boring. So we had to find a way to make it fun. And gaming, I think, is fun. And gaming is also good for kids who don't learn that quick or don't learn that well, because a game does not get frustrated. And we made the game in a way that when children don't develop skills, but there would be stagnation, that the game would also be fun, still be fun. We made the game that way that when a kid has holiday and comes back to school and the level is falling down, when he plays the game sees it, adapts to it. The child will not think that he fails. It still will be fun. And what we did, we got 3 teams. One team was the research team, one team was the game developers team, and one team that was me. And the research team had to make sure that the game we made was built on their scientific insights. So they were happy if they recognized their research in the game. The game developers would be happy when the game would be fun. And like the other speakers also told, there are fundamental rules in fun for kids, fun gaming for kids, and they followed that. So they had to be happy with the design and the gameplay. And I had to be happy when I saw the needs of kids that we worked with answered in the game. So that was the game we played with the 3 of us. And we designed for almost a year, I think. We designed with the kids. That was also very interesting. Each sprint, we did go to schools to test if they liked the colors or if they liked the music or if they liked the gameplay. We let them choose in different worlds. And that was very, very, very interesting, especially when we went to the special schools with kids for special educational needs, because they have a different way of thinking and they have a different things they like, also different things they hate. And as an adult, we don't know much of the head of children, but as a regular adult, we don't know anything about special kids because they think different and they have different needs. We started to develop, and there were a few things we wanted absolutely. And the first thing was that the research group made an enormous spreadsheet with all the bricks of the calculation wall worked out in 8 different scenarios. So each brick in the wall has 8 different scenarios. So when you fail in a brick in the game will find out, is it because of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And when it finds what is the exact problem, then he seduces the player to go to that special area and to practice. First, we wanted the game to be based on the scientific insights. Second of all, we would like to answer the special needs of kids with learning problems, with calculation problems, and with behaving problems. We wanted the game to be fully adaptive and self-directive, so no teacher would be needed, no school would be needed. Kids who live in, for instance, Laos that don't go to school should get the opportunity to learn the very basics of calculation by playing this game. We wanted the game to be fun, and for game developers that is a main goal in education, especially in Holland. Fun is not always a goal of teachers. I don't know how you do it here in India, but I did not have much fun in school. So maybe I make this game because I was bored when I was in primary school, but I come to that later, I think. We wanted the game to be a stimulus for math skills. So children were motivated for math again, motivated for calculation, and we wanted to use a minimum of language because kids with special needs, in a lot of cases, they have problems reading. And we wanted that in a math game, the reading problem would not influence the math skills. So we used a minimum of language. And on the back side of our game, we created a data center so you could see all the developments of an individual kid, but also a group of kids or a large group of kids. And that's also very interesting because we can see now how much time they play, how much sums they make well, and how much sums they make wrong, etc. And we wanted the game to be played by children in the whole world. We were very ambitious, still are. So in the Netherlands, we knew it was a problem and we thought it was a solution. And we now know it is a solution. We copied the design of our research in Great Britain also, and we know it's working there also, but we have more ambitions than that. And the game developer that we found was Grendel Games. You might know it, you might not know it. It's a Dutch company who really makes great games, only serious games that are about education, healthcare, and also social issues. So that's what we did. And the last thing we wanted, absolutely, was effect. Because that's our main goal in the whole organization, in everything we do. So also in the game. Effect was the main goal. When they play the game, we wanted them to grow in skills and in motivation. So we made different worlds. And we designed a game that was an answer to the research we did. And the two worlds we made was a power world and a speed world. In the power world, the kids can play, they have fun, they can discover, they can practice. And in the test world, they can test, and they practice in speed. Kids in Holland don't like testing. I don't know how it is in India. We didn't ever find out, but I guess kids here in primary school do not love testing. Am I right? Okay. Luckily I am. So we had to find out a way to do something in this world that makes them want to test. And we did that by using fuel. When you play in this area, it's fun, and you use fuel. And at a certain point, you have to refuel to play again a next level. And refuel can only be done in the test world. So they fly with a spaceship, a special spaceship, to another world, so they gain fuel, so they can play again fun. On this side, in the speed center, we collect all the data, and we make all the analysis. In the design, we also used the research group to give us tips about feedback. So what we did was, in the test room, that Garfield gives feedback. So when you do something wrong, you will not fail, but you get feedback. In the beginning, you get the right answer, so kids know, oh, I got it wrong, but this is the answer. And later on in the game, it becomes more abstract, and the research team did that very, very, very well. So in the end of the game, we helped the children in the right way, in the scientific right way. To show you an example of the power world, this is what we made. And the colors and the gameplay and the environment and the music is designed together with kids in all the sprints. I don't have audio, but the audio will be annoying, I guess, for you. What you see is Garfield is collecting numbers, and this is a scene in the very beginning of the game. So before you make sums, you have to know that a number is representing an amount of certain value and has a symbol. So in the beginning of the game, we want the kids to find out that 6. What we did was we tested this with kids. So it's amazing to see how strongly they have, they prefer a certain color or a certain sound or a certain music type. That amazed us. You as game developers probably are not amazed by that, but we did actually were. So this is the power game. And Garfield is running around. He's losing fuel. He can gain some fuel over here, but he's losing more. So in the end of a block, he needs to go to another area with a spaceship. And the other area, the test area, looks like this. And has different planets. And each planet stands for a sum type. And each brick has 8 sum types. So each planet is one of the 8 sometimes that make a brick. And the test world tests how the kids perform at a certain level, and the game, the other world, adapts to that. So when they do very well here, they're gonna practice at the level that they let show in this area. And each planet has a name, and they will celebrate when you reach, when you master a planet. And this is also in the beginning of the game where they have to know what is more, what is less, which number is more, which number is less. And you see Garfield giving direct feedback. And when you have something like this, when you fail, he gives you the right answer in the beginning. And it goes very quick. So a child will not feel that they fail. And later on, they become more abstract, as I said. So what we want is to master all the little bricks that make the calculation wall. And you see all the stars. Each star is a little part of a brick. So when they want to play the game in total and master all the bricks, then all the stars will lighten up. And then a kid knows where they are in the development, if they are just in the beginning or in the end. We wanted them to get insight in their own development, and we did it by these stars. On the back side, we made this data center so you can easily see how a kid develops in power and speed, or how a group of kids develops in power and speed. And it's very simple. When it's green, it's okay. When it's orange, there might be a problem. And when it's red, there is a problem. So that would be easy for teachers. When everything is green, you just have to look at one screen and that's all. And when there's some kid or a few kids that are red or orange, you can interfere if you want to. In this data center, we can collect all the data we want, like how many hours they play and etc. We designed the game, we tested the game, and then we wanted effect. So we designed a research. And we took 600 children, we divided them in 2 groups, and one group played the game in addition to their normal calculation lessons, and the other group were not playing the game and still following the same lessons. And all the kids did a pre-test, all the kids did a post-test, and then we wanted to find out if the kids who played the game were performing better on motivation and skills. The group who played the game played that for 2 months, 15 minutes a day. Nothing less and nothing more. That was the rule. And after 2 months, we did the post-test, and the post-test was very satisfying because there was both effect on motivation and on skills by the group that played the game. And we were extremely happy with that, of course, because we don't know many games that are proven effective. Not many educational games that were proven effective, so this was a big goal for us, our main goal. But we were not satisfied in total, because we thought, when this is the case in 2 months, what would be the case when they play 2 years? What would be the case for smart kids to start playing the game when they're in standard 1? And how fast can they develop to a certain level? That would be interesting to know. We also wanted to make a breakthrough, so children at the age of 8 showed no stagnation anymore, but there was just a line of growth and a line of development. That was our next ambition. So we think that when kids play 1 year or 2 years, we can prove that there will be more growth after the age of 8. And we see now in Holland that children that are 6 years old play the game to prevent problems and to prevent deficits. We also have the ambition to do a global implementation, because we think it's a global problem. We know it's a problem in the Netherlands and in Great Britain, but we want to find out if it's also a problem in other countries like India or African countries. So what we did, we started up the initiative to duplicate the research in Cameroon with 5 other African countries to see if the effect is also the same in that countries. And we would love to duplicate the research also in India to see if there's the same effect. Of course, it can be that there will be less effect, and then we're going to analyze what is the cause of that. So it might we might conclude that the game design is effective for Dutch kids and not for Indian kids, for instance. So then we have to change the look and feel of the game, I guess. The potential for India is the same potential as we see in Holland or in the African countries or in Great Britain, because we know the Indian government is very ambitious when it comes to education. They have a major plan to increase the level of education up till 2022, and they're going to join the PISA ranking. They didn't for about 20 years, I guess, but now they're going to start joining the PISA ranking, and it means that they want to show their results to other countries and compare the results of the Indian children to other countries. And they have great ambitions with that. And I think that a game like ours, a game like Garfield's Count Me In, can help in this process, because a game is easy when you want to reach a lot of children, whether they go to school or not go to school. I think a serious game like we made is an easy way and a relatively cheap way to reach all the children and to get all the children to increase their math level or calculation level. So that's what I hope that we can implement the game in India. So when you have interest in implementing it with us or something, then I would like you to come to me and speak to me afterwards. The ambition we have more in general is not to make lots of money, but yeah, I would like to make lots of money, but though, because then we can make lots of other games and we can make this game even better and also do other calculation areas to implement in the game. But our main goal is to make kids happy and to make sure that all kids get opportunities to learn and develop. No matter whether you're living in Wommels, that's where I live in Holland, this is the school of my son, or you live in Africa or you live in India, we think that serious gaming could be a wonderful way to give all children, disabled children, not disabled children, very smart kids, not so smart kids, kids in India or kids in Holland, the same opportunity to learn. So they get the same opportunities to develop and get a better life in the future. And I hope that we see lots and lots and lots of gaming in education in the coming 10 years, because I think that will be helpful for a lot of children, and especially for children who don't learn that easy. And that is our goal with the game and the goal in general.